On a dark and gloomy night, a merchant set out on a long journey. Around the middle of the road, he stopped to rest under the shade of a large tree. He took out some dates to eat, and once he had finished, he threw the pits to the ground. Suddenly, a massive genie appeared out of nowhere, his eyes burning with fire and his voice thundering like the storm. He shouted, "O merchant, you have killed my son. He was sitting on the ground when you threw the date pits, and one of them struck him in the chest. He died instantly." The merchant tried to defend himself, but he was in a hopeless situation. The genie declared that he would kill him at sunrise. As the merchant waited for his fate, an old man appeared, leading a beautiful gazelle. He asked the merchant what had happened, and upon hearing the story, he turned to the genie and said, "O mighty genie, if you spare this merchant's life, I will tell you a wondrous tale. If you find it amazing, grant him a share of mercy." The genie agreed. The man began, "This gazelle was once my wife. I was a wealthy man with much cattle and property. One day, I went on a long journey and left her behind. When I returned, I discovered that she had betrayed me with a slave in my household. As punishment, I used magic to turn her into a gazelle. Now she follows me in regret and silence." The genie was astonished and said, "That is a strange tale indeed. I grant you 1/3 of the merchant's blood." As he finished speaking, a second old man arrived, leading 2 black dogs. He asked about the situation, and upon hearing it, he said to the genie, "Allow me to tell you my story. If it amazes you, grant another 1/3 of this merchant's life." The genie nodded, and the second man said, "These 2 dogs were once my brothers. We inherited great wealth from our father. I gave them each their fair share, and we all opened shops. But they grew jealous and conspired against me. They stole from me and threw me into the sea. By God's mercy, I survived, and when I confronted them, they denied everything. So I turned to magic and transformed them into dogs as a lesson." The genie exclaimed, "Another marvelous story. I grant you the second 1/3 of the merchant's blood." Then a third old man arrived, riding a mule and carrying a musical instrument. He was a traveling minstrel, and upon hearing what was happening, he said to the genie, "Give me a chance to tell you my tale. If it pleases you, grant the merchant the final portion of mercy." The genie said, "Very well, go on." The man said, "I once lived in a grand palace with a beautiful wife, though we had no children. Years passed, and I went on a long journey. When I returned, I discovered that my wife had learned the dark arts and had been deceiving me for years. When I confronted her, she tried to harm me. I escaped and became a wandering dervish, traveling the lands, telling stories, and saving souls. Just as I am doing now." The genie nodded in wonder and said, "Your stories have enchanted me, each more incredible than the last. I cannot bring myself to kill this merchant. He is innocent in the face of such astonishing fates." And with that, the genie vanished in the blink of an eye, and the merchant was spared, thanks to the magic of stories, the power of words, and the wisdom of the 3 old men.